Carol is set in the early 1950s in New York, and it follows the unexpected love affair between two women of different ages and different social settings. Therese Belivet, in her early 20s, who's embarking on her life, meets Carol Aird, who's this alluring woman who's beginning to go through a divorce, single mother, a mother of one daughter. And what happens between these two women, and at this very unlikely time historically for a love affair of this kind. It's based on Patricia Highsmith's second novel, The Price of Salt. I actually had never read The Price of Salt. I didn't even know about The Price of Salt when this project came to me. I was, corrected by my lesbian friends that it was a seminal lesbian novel that I should have known about. But in fact, The Price of Salt was published under an assumed name during Patricia Highsmith's life, under the name of Claire Morgan, and is historic and noteworthy for the fact that it ended with a sort of atypically affirmative ending, which was not the norm for lesbian-themed stories at the time. And she ultimately did publish the novel. It came out in the 1980s again while she was still alive under her name as Carol. It's a fantastic novel by Patricia Highsmith, the only novel outside the crime milieu of her career. But what it does is it sort of explores the subjectivity of Therese, the younger character in the story, with the same kind of fixed attention that she usually applies to her criminal subjects, and draws a unique parallel to the sort of festering mind of somebody falling in love to that of the criminal mind. And so crime and the whole sense of this love being an illicit love lurks through the story, and ultimately propels the women to take some actions at the end of the story that they wouldn't have otherwise. Unrequited love is definitely an aspect of the story, in that Therese is trying to sort of read the signs and signals from this person who she is becoming attracted to and getting to know. And Carol is a mercurial figure in the story, and she's hard to read, and she's conflicted. And what you realize is that love, particularly between women at this time, gay love, it's love without an example. And so these women are really struggling to make sense of what this means, how seriously to take it, how much it should alter the decisions of their lives. And but it also, because it's a pre-Stonewall kind of period for gay representation, and particularly for lesbian representation, which was almost an unimaginable subject at the time, you really see the story of a young person almost inventing love and trying to kind of find their own language for what this love could be, and what kind of a hold it's going to ultimately take on their lives. And I love that about it. I thought that was so interesting and made it more than just things were so much harder than movie. Really that there was something radical and original about the kind of love that they were exploring, despite the challenges and the hardships that they faced.